everyone, welcome back to Starlight News. Today we have a great episode for you. We interviewed our new Vice Principal, Miss Ortiz, and we have our Woman of the Week. Also, February is Black History Month, so we'll be taking a little bit of time to talk about the importance of that. Now, let's get started with our interview with Miss Ortiz.
As some of y'all may know, we have a new vice principal this year, Miss Ortiz, and since this isn't a normal year, we decided to welcome her to Starlight News for an interview and get to know her a little bit better. It was so nice to talk to Miss Ortiz, and we are so glad she's here at ARS. Now, let's hear our interview with the new vice principal. So thank you again for deciding to meet with us. So our first question is, we just kind of want to know like a little bit of background on you. So we'd love to know your journey about leading up to ARS and just a little bit about yourself and how you got here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate this opportunity. My name is Cristina Almaraz Ortiz. And for all the girls, I know everybody will notice that the email's Almaraz Ortiz all together, but please feel free just to call me Mrs. Ortiz. But my journey takes me back. I was born and raised in San Antonio, and I went to school there, all three levels, including the university level. So I went to Our Lady of the Lake University. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I've always wanted to be a teacher ever since I think I was 3 or 4 years old. I don't know how I learned about teaching at that level, but I used to teach stuffed animals. And where it began, my journey began was because my father, he bought me a chalkboard and he put it up there. Again, I hadn't even gone to school. My older sister, my sister, she was already in school, but we never really talked about school. So when he brought me my chalkboard and he put it up, it's like natural. I knew what it was for. I loved it. I played with it all the time. Because of that, that's where it was where I wanted to become a teacher all those years. And so I went to Our Lady of the Lake University. I received my bachelor's. I started teaching when I was 21, and I started teaching mathematics at one of the inner city high schools. And I taught mathematics for 11 years at the same school. I loved my school. It was down the street from where I lived. I didn't graduate from there personally, but I just felt like my heart called me there. I was hired before I even graduated from college. And the reason for that is because they had a shortage of math teachers. And as y'all know, that is one area where they're always short. And so I was given the opportunity, started my math career, just moved up as department chair. And luckily I had this wonderful principal who really believed in me and just saw some leadership qualities in me that I didn't see in myself. And as young women, we don't, right? We always shortchange ourselves or we don't believe it. But she believed in me and she helped grow me in certain areas. And so I started my master's degree, got it in educational administration and principalship at the Lake as well. And ended up having my first administrative position here in Austin ISD. I decided to move on up here. They gave me the opportunity and I left my school of 11 years, which was, I didn't want to. I wanted to further my career there, but I also needed to further my career somewhere else to learn more. And so I was able to be the assistant principal at International High School, which is a all school for children who come from other countries who are between 14 and 16 years old with no English. And that was probably one of the best opportunities I've ever had. Moved up to LBJ, Early College High School, began the early college component there, working alongside some very awesome colleagues of mine, and my bosses were wonderful, taught me a lot. Had the opportunity to become a principal for 4 years at the Sadler Means, and that in itself is a blessing. I learned a lot. And that's what's driven me here. I've known about Ann Richards for the 4 years that I was there. I know that I worked very closely with Miss Goka and Miss Wall. And they also helped me in understanding what a girls' school was and the components of a girls' school and seeing the progress and the excellence that y'all were having here at Ann Richards. And the focus being STEM, it would really called my name. And so luckily we worked alongside all these years, giving girls opportunities. And that I really appreciate. And so that has brought me here, and given the opportunity to work here as the high school assistant principal, I took it. I just ran for it and I said, oh my God, this is a great opportunity for myself. And I'm very, very grateful that I'm here with you all because I know what you're about. I know the mission statement, and I hope that I can make an impact and help the journey as we progress in further years.
So kind of bouncing off of the mission statement, and like you said, Ann Richards, we're such a special school, and the mission statement is huge for us here. It's like one of our most, I guess for the students, it's one of the things that we remember the most. We say it every day. So what part of the mission statement speaks to you the most?
I've been just looking at the mission statement, and the one piece that speaks the most to me. I know we already solve problems creatively and ethically, especially with the PBL system, the SEL components that you have here. But bottom line, it's the first part where we prepare young women to not only attend, but graduate. The component of graduation is very important because if you look at statistics and data, it shows that all public schools can get children to the university level and to the college level. But when schools make an impact on their children to where they complete their bachelor's degree and going on to their master's and into the PhD programs, that is the key. And that's what attracts me. It speaks to me. And I definitely want to learn more about what is that key, what is that wonderful miracle or the things that we do here that ensure that the girls graduate and complete their education, because that is a hot topic right now in education and people are trying to figure out, and that was before the pandemic. So imagine now during the pandemic, it's probably gotten worse. And so the hot topic around how do children complete their education in college? How do public schools support that? And so that's what drives me in our mission statement, because all the other components is just creating and helping and guiding our girls to be well-rounded around their health, their wellness, working together collaboratively and leading with courage and compassion. That's huge. But bottom line, that is our goal. And that's what attracts me to that, Emmy.
Kind of closing up this interview, I'd like to ask you what advice you would give your younger self or even us seniors who are going to graduate this year.
The advice that I would share with you all is to love yourself and believe in yourself first. That's huge, because as young women, we always question ourselves. Am I good enough? Do I have what it takes? And don't let anything get in the way or anybody let you question yourself. You see, I think that's the gift of Ann Richards and the culture that you've built here is that I can see it. I can see the girls speaking to each other. I just heard it from my ninth graders that they want to build the systems to help out the sixth graders and not leave them out of the big sister, little sister components. Just listening to that, that's what I'm talking about, is that when we're at our ends or we feel that there's no way out or we feel defeated, there's always our sisters that are going to bring us up and remind us of who we are. But at the same time, we know what we're capable of, and don't let anybody underestimate you and what you're capable of doing. That's what I would like to share with you all. And we can have more conversations as time goes on, as we get to know each other.
This month is Black History Month, which is a celebration of achievements made by African Americans and the resilience of the Black community. Throughout February, we'll be featuring an important Black woman on our Woman of the Week segment, as well as with other segments. Now today, our Woman of the Week is someone who is a prominent figure in jazz and has sold over 40 million albums. Do you know who she is?
Ella Fitzgerald was born April 25, 1917 in Newport News, Virginia. She had a tough childhood. Her mother died when she was younger and she was sent to reform school. However, in 1934, Fitzgerald's name was pulled from a drawing at the Apollo and she was given the opportunity to perform. Her singing blew away the audience and the saxophonist in the band, Benny Carter, who helped kickstart her career. When she was 21, Fitzgerald released her version of the nursery rhyme, A Tisket, a Tasket, which sold 1 million copies and stayed on the pop charts for 17 weeks. She became well known for her scat singing and collaborated with Louis Armstrong on many albums. In 1987, Ronald Reagan awarded Fitzgerald with the National Medal of Arts. In the 1990s, she recorded over 200 albums, and in 1991 held her final concert at the Carnegie Hall in New York. Sadly, she passed away June 15, 1996.
Ella Fitzgerald worked hard to be successful in music and was known for having new and inventive ways of singing. She left a legacy that continues to impact the music world today. Now, we want to leave you with a quote from her to remind you to try new things and not to be afraid of what others haven't done. She said, "A lot of singers think all they have to do is exercise their tonsils to get ahead. They refuse to look for new ideas and new outlets, so they fall by the wayside. I'm going to try to find out the new ideas before the others do."
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Starlight News. Before we go, we wanted to challenge you to something. Sometime in the next 2 weeks, we challenge you to do a random act of kindness for someone. Now, it can be something as simple as doing an extra chore around the house, or something as creative as painting a nice message on a rock and leaving it in your neighborhood. We want to see your random acts of kindness too, so if you can take a picture or make a video of you explaining what you did, we would love to see them, and you can submit them for a chance to be featured on our Valentine's Day episode. And more information will come out on how to submit pictures, but for now, you can start thinking of ways to be kind to people. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.